Okay, my name is Nicholas Johnbeck, and my presentation is about Navy post-secondary awareness at my school, which is Brookline High School. All right, so what I did was, in the beginning, I just went around, talked to people on an individual level, because this is like early in the year, and you just gotta talk to the people. And later on, I went around handing out like contact information for my Navy recruiter, Mr. Brian Shermley, and I put up posters with pull tabs, and I got at least one person to pull a tab, so I'm chilling. All right. I also emailed and spoke with my dean, and that's going to be important. And all right, so what? I did this because I as a student at my high school, I felt like I was being pushed into something I didn't want to do, which was college. I didn't like the school environment. You know, I put up with it, but once I was done with it, I wanted to be done with it. And the Navy gave me that opportunity to do what I wanted to do. And so I got contacted by my Navy recruiter, and I got enlisted. And I just want to spread awareness of the post-secondary options that the Navy can offer to the students at my high school, because I believe everyone should deserve that flexibility. Now what? So my project isn't a complete one. I plan on later in the year, sometime in May, when the weather is nice, put up like a nice like table with like posters and stuff with my Navy recruiter right outside the high school. Have like a ton of snacks just to entice the people to come over, because there's this at my high school. If you have like a table set up and you have food and you're just handing it out just for like them coming over, you will get those people to come over. Like there was this one time, this Jewish guy pulled up in his van, and he just had a ton of food, and he's like, "I got you," and basically he had a ton of food, and that's how he got a ton of people to come over. So I'm like, why can't I do that? And my dean, I spoke to them, and they realized that my high school doesn't have that many post-secondary options for their high schoolers. And I got them to think about that. And now my dean wants to give a career presentation talk to one of my recruiters for hopefully this year, and if not, definitely next year. Any questions?
Have you had any direct conversations with students at your high school about your journey and why you're spreading this awareness? And
Yes.
have they shown interest in learning more about it?
Yes. Particularly once I started speaking about like the monetary benefits, that's when I'm like, how come I never knew this? And I got them to think about that. Suit.
Can everybody hear me? I just want to make sure because I'm really tired. Okay. Is this better? Yeah. Okay. Cool beans. Okay. So my project is called Women and Children Alike. I worked with a foundation called Gracious Hands Housing, and for those who don't know, I live in North Carolina, so that's where most of my work happened. I was able to donate some items that I personally funded to some women and children in need, just, so they have some cool things. Why I did it because when I moved down there, I noticed that there was a lot more homeless women and children than there are homeless men. And I personally understand how bad it is to like live on the street, especially with a child. It's not something that anyone should be able to or should have to go through. A lot of domestic violence relationships that cause that, and a lot of children who don't get to have a healthy childhood because they're in that situation. Okay, the impact. I'm sorry, the impact. So when I got there, I was able to make a whole bunch of bags for the children, providing, their little items, as well as for the women with their feminine items. And handing them out was really special to me because a lot of them were in the dumps when I got there, but the minute they received their items and opened their bags, there's bright smiles everywhere, and the mothers themselves was very appreciative for me to, provide a smile on their face, their child's face. Sorry. And, that's it. No, we're good. You go back to my seat.
What did you learn about the size of impact, like the measure of impact, when you delivered?
I learned that, it doesn't matter how small it is. I learned as long as it's something important and not something that's just here's a special item, here's a this, that, and the third. It's something that's beneficial to them, something that they can cherish at least a little bit for the time being. So.
Hello, my name is Shafira, and for my Medallion project, I did a So my plan was to set up donation boxes around my community. So I asked my dad if it's okay if I could set up boxes at his office, and he put me in contact with one of his co-workers. So I did that. The reason why I did this is because I personally am not so the root cause of this was food insecurities, and even though that I have not lived with it, I know people who have, I have friends who have done it, and hearing them tell me their stories made me want to go out and do something about it. The impact was, I provided food for people in need, but I was also able to provide 100 plus in donations, which I donated. And then one of the impact that I hope it would have in the future is that more awareness could be spread about food insecurities. And when I went to deliver the food, the lady was telling me since it's COVID, it's been very hard for them to get food, and food prices have gone up. And one thing that I took away from this is just because it's not happening to you doesn't mean millions of people around the world are not living with this. Questions? Any questions?
Have you reached out to any other groups, organizations?
Not yet, but the place that I donated with, I'm still in contact with them, and they are trying to put me on with other shelters that need help. So next week I'm meeting with the lady, and she's gonna give me contacts with people I can contact to in order to make it more bigger. So yeah.
Hello, my name is Donovan Webb. This is my slideshow on historical Black artists. So, throughout the U.S., there's not a lot of coverage on Black Americans in general in the history books. And I go to an art school, and it still concerns me that there's no coverage on Black artists, especially for art, through dance, music, visual arts, cinematography. There's nothing in my education. And with my slideshow, I showcase artists like Basquiat, Nina Simone, Spike Lee, important people in today's and our past who left a giant mark that's not truly known. Like Nina Simone, she inspired David Bowie. Dapper Dan created Logomania. And Basquiat inspired Andy Warhol. And that's not talked about. And I also passed out a survey to my whole school it was presented in all advisories. And just to really think about who you are and who are the people around you. Like, do you think your culture is truly represented in today's society? And I really wanted to dive into the deep psyche of like what people think about what's going on. That's it. Any questions?
How did the other students embrace it when you introduced it?
A lot of them didn't really know what I was talking about.
Okay.
But once I like told them why I was doing it and like what C5 was and why I am doing this, it kind of like got a better grasp on it.
Alright. Hi, my name is Charles. I go to Rising Tide, and my project's name is Operation Big Brother. Basically, I went around my school. I had to ask my principal for upper school because we don't just allow like people to just like bring in bins and just say, okay, this is what we're doing. And I'm shocked at this one because I got 5 bins of food. And nobody was interested at first. It took a month and a half to get to 5 bins, and I was just shocked because I'm a popular person, but I'm not that popular. And when that happened, I just like, wow, I wasn't expecting that. I did this because I was homeless for a little while. I know that it's hard to get food every now and and I've worked at food pantries countless times. And whenever I worked at a food pantry, I saw people not being able to get as much food as they needed. So when I worked there, I'm like, you know, I should really do something about this. I want to help this. And I want to see people have basic human necessities. The impact was a little, but it's a strong start. Everyone starts off at a small point. It all has a low point, but it always ends up having usually ends at a high rate. It may start small, but it will have a big ripple in the end.
So you said you were surprised you got so many donations. What do you have how did you market it? What do you think, how do you think did you think a little bit about how it became so popular?
I think it just became popular because everyone knows I'm a very dedicated person. I've always strived for perfection, even though I'm not a perfectionist. I went around, I told everyone about it, and they put it in our Monday memo, which is basically like a list of what's happening for the week, what's happening. And I was shocked at this. They put it in the senior Monday memo and the lower school Monday memo, which doesn't usually happen, which is why I think it got so much more food than what usually everyone gets.
Right.
How's it going? My name is Zion, and my project was helping the homeless in my community. So pretty much what I did for my project was go to a bunch of restaurants in Dorchester and see if there's a way they'll donate food for the homeless. And they did. Specifically, Delicias restaurant, they donated roughly $500 worth of food, which filled around 50 to 60 to-go plates from like restaurants, like the styrofoam ones. And these are some of the people that I gave the food to. The location was Mass Ave next to the Sheriff's Department. And if you go to the next slide, this is just, I think this is some, okay, so pretty much right here was why I did it. And I did it because homelessness in Boston is kind of big. And I actually know a few of my family members who became homeless due to low-paying jobs and housing that is so expensive now. But in the next picture, there's all the food and stuff that I donated. You can go to the next slide. Yeah, so the people that I went to go donate to, it was kind of really happy to see them kind of smile once I gave them food. And it looks like they have each other's backs over there because they were getting food for everybody over there. But it is sad because they know that if they leave their stuff, someone else is gonna take it. So we kind of had to go over there and give them the food ourselves, which isn't really too safe, especially since it was kind of at night, but we took the risk just to give them some food anyways. And some of the restaurants that were in the beginning of the slideshow also said they wanted to donate sometime next week or the week after. So that's pretty much what I'm planning on, is setting up so I can donate in the future.
One, I like most of the restaurants. So, how did you make contact with the restaurant? Did you physically go into them or did you call?
So I went in because I feel like it'd be difficult to explain over the phone, and it is better to have a conversation face to face. And I also asked for the store owners because I didn't see a reason to explain it twice. One to the the person who's running it, and then again to the owner. I just kind of wanted to get straight to the point because the deadline was so soon. So next time I'm hoping that when I do it again, I can give them a later deadline, so that way they have the ability to donate.
Hey everybody, my name is Tatiana Madri. I attend KIPP Academy Lynn in Lynn, Massachusetts, and I created a plant-based food drive. So, as we all should be aware of, America is one of the most obese countries in the entire world, and one of the most highest rates of diabetes. And so, a couple years ago, I just started looking more into plant-based living, healthy living, and watched lots of documentaries. And my sister actually became vegan, so it opened my eyes to that lifestyle. And so my original idea was to get more plant-based foods in my school, because we did for a while lack a lot of vegan and vegetarian options. I did become vegetarian in December of 2020 during the pandemic, so it drove me to want to give more options in my school once the school opened up again. But my school actually had a decent amount of plant-based foods, so I wanted to just do a food drive to this program called My Brother's Table in Lynn, which a lot of homeless people actually hang around because they don't really have places to go, but they do stand outside of it so they can get food because they give out lots of free hot meals. And so at my school, I basically held a plant-based food drive where I made this flyer, put it all over the school, and I even announced it during my president, I'm class president, and so during that, the juniors and seniors, we basically met up all together to do awards, and at the end I gave a bunch of presentations, gave a bunch of information, and this was a part of it, so I let everyone know this is what I'm doing and I want everyone to help donate. And basically I set up 2 stations of donation bags inside and outside the front desk office. So once you go in the school, you'll see it, and then when you're going up to classes, in front of the stairs you also see it. So yeah. So why did I do it? I know that I know that plant-based living is very expensive, and a lot of people look at it and they just they can't afford it, and it's just really hard to just maintain that kind of lifestyle. But so being aware of that, I wanted to bring those plant-based foods, and anyone who had the resources and the availability and time to just donate that food to people who need it the most in my community. And yeah, also Lynn is just a big community that's struggling a lot with homelessness, starvation, gentrification, literally everything you think of. My city is struggling. So I wanted to be the change to have more youth involvement in plant-based living. What is the impact? I actually did do it a little late. because a good amount of students did end up donating food, and the project is not over. I'm gonna be continuing the project all throughout April. So then I'm gonna just have like also they're non-perishable food, so they could just sit there for a while until like I feel like donating them. In which I'm gonna donate them all at the end of the month, in which I'm excited to bring to my brother's table. So yeah, thanks. Yeah.
When you donate the food, are you planning to have a conversation with my brother's table about why you specifically chose plant-based food, so that they understand your reasoning and the education behind it?
Yeah, so I actually been meaning to call them. I just been so busy, didn't have the time to. But when I do, actually I'm gonna go before and I'm call them, talk to them about like my vision, why I'm doing this, how old I am. I've actually volunteered there before, so I know the place and I know some of the people there. And yeah, I'm just gonna explain to them like this is what I'm doing and this is where all this food is coming from and why students at KIMP want to help make a change.
Hi everybody, my name is Mandy,
My name is Blossom,
and we both attend Match High School.
and our project is Black Women Empowerment. So basically what it is like a lot of, what we like realized when we're about to start the project is that a lot of like Black women and like some of the like most unseen minorities but also carry a lot of this country. So like in us deciding to create this space, we wanted to like have an open conversation, like empower women in our school. So like we kind of brought them together and like, okay, like how do you guys feel? Like how is it to be in a world as a Black woman? Like the responsibilities you have and like you have to take, and like I feel like we were like great examples and we were to like speak to like class and like the whole life. So like put like posters around the school and like the kind of was like, oh, this is like our issue.
So how do we see this in our everyday lives? Basically, like, I'm pretty sure majority of us know that there is a stereotype about the angry Black woman, and basically as youth, you don't, that's how like that's where you pick up stuff. So when you're younger and you're a female at that, you see like all these stereotypes within like older people. It's like, wow, when I grow up, am I gonna fit these stereotypes? Like, how can I change around me to not feel like I'm in the wrong for being me, if that makes sense?
So I feel like in previous years we've seen like in history, the American history, we've seen like a lot of like Black women advocating for things like our rights, and we wanted to be that example in our school.
So how can we as the youth take further steps into changing/improving the affected community? So what me and Blossom basically did, what she like said previously, we got a couple of seniors and underclassmen women, majority women of color, who basically we like spoke to them and felt like what empowers you to be a Black woman? Like how do you face challenges in the real world rather than how do you face just being within our school community? So what we had done, we went around and we basically like, besides our seminar, we went around and asked people like, what do you love about yourself? But like as a Black person, especially since like the outside world isn't too like accepted of us, so we basically we went around and then took pictures of what mainly most of the women said, young women said about what they love about themselves.
And even like we weren't able to put it in, but there's also like a video in which like after we talked to like a couple of the women that was in the seminar, we asked them like how this impacted them, and like a couple of them, one like being a C5 leader, she was able to like talk about how like this motivated her to like take this into the future, and like as she goes further, like be able to like empower other women and like see like, oh, I have the power, and like this is how we feel to be like in the world as Black women, and this is how I can help you and like have the like rippling effect of change.
And then another participant, she like recognized herself and was like, I did all this work to where I am to be where I am today, so it's like I deserve to be where everybody else is. And it's like whenever you're in a spot where you feel like maybe I'm not here because I deserve to be, it's like don't ever feel like you're in that situation because you don't deserve to be, because if you didn't, then you wouldn't be there. So everything you do basically is for a reason, and we wanted like, especially the younger women, to like notice that like they're worthy, they mean something, and we want them to keep pushing that forward throughout their life.
Basically, I went around. I went to Mass Ave and handed out burgers, and basically just gave back because we're not all fortunate to be able to have food every single day. And it just like why I did it was because I feel like I need to change things in my community, and why not start by helping the people that are less fortunate? Because I have the resources to be able to give back to my community. And why this is important to me is because in my everyday life, I have people that literally I talk to every day that are in those situations where they don't have the resources every day to eat or like a change of clothes every day. So it's just like the simple things of giving back, giving them like my older clothes and things like that. The impact of this is to show that the youth are not just people that destroy things. We actually have hearts, and we're allowed to make impact in other people's lives, and that that we are like people listen to us because we're still learning, and we learn new things every day. Things change. And yeah. Any questions?
My name is Nate, and my medallion project is I was feeding homeless in Mass Ave. So, if you're from Boston or if you drive around Boston, you probably pass down like Mass Ave or something, and you know, if you pass by, you can you see like homeless people on the floor or like tents everywhere, and just like a bunch of like homeless people everywhere, and well, what me and my church did, we would go down like every other month and like serve hot food and just give them food, keep them off the street. We're not trying to like help them or anything to get them off, but just make sure they have something to keep their belly full, and just they don't have to scavenge around and find something. You know what I'm saying? So our goal is to raise at least probably a good $3,000 to give money to my church to help get essentials like food, cups, water, and all that to help the homeless people in Mass Ave. And yeah, that's it. Any questions? Oh no, I lied. The impact I got, I get from it is while we're there, there'll be some pedestrians or even some volunteers who come try to help. They would see us serving the food, and they would like it. They would ask if they could help serve food, or probably go out and buy some stuff to help out more people to keep them off the street and stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hi, my name is Paula, and today I'm going to be talking about my medallion project. Also, by the way, I'm from Brockton, but I'm going to be talking about my medallion project, which is called Unmonitored Lights. Okay, so the purpose or the format of this project is basically going to be in podcast style, but it's more going to be in the form of storytelling, but productive storytelling. So the way that I wanted to do this was by sharing my own life experiences, being a minority within different it's important that people have like an outlet where they can listen to something like this, because a lot of the resources on I get like available for minorities to like share their experiences are more in the format of like trauma dumping rather than turning it into something useful like advice or helping you navigate your way through certain spaces. Next slide. So again, why am I doing this? Because I myself am like a double minority, and I experience like different things within the different communities that I fall under. And I also feel like it's important, especially for younger women, to have these sort of resources, because instead of like again like trauma dumping, they can learn how to move through different spaces, but also elevate themselves to where they're not like having this victim complex and more having a complex where they can be leaders in their community. And yeah, so my goals for this podcast is basically to grow, I guess, an audience large enough to where people can actually, like I can make a website where people can share their own experiences, and it can become a segment. So with this segment, it will be me sort of telling the story for the audience or the people, and then afterwards, they can get advice from not only myself through the experiences that I've had growing up, but also as I reach adulthood. And also from people like within the audience, so setting up different forums where people can respond and say like how they went through this certain situation if they've experienced it. Oh, and that's all. Any questions? Nobody? Oh, sorry, I didn't see.
Easy question. Can you share the link with groups you have?
Yes. So right now the episodes are in the work. They're still in recording, but once they do come out, which is going to be around like Mayish, early May. Once they come out, I will actually send them to the people at C5 and then broadcast it to everyone.
My name is Jonisha, and unfortunately my partner Tajane wasn't able to be here with me, so I'm going to present it on our behalf. So together we did a feminine hygiene drive, and the purpose of our drive was to focus on homeless women in need and their hygiene needs. And in this project, it was to focus on things like, things that are specifically towards women, like scented lotions, things that us as women we deem as necessities, but other people might be like at a homeless shelter, like, you just need a toothbrush, this, that, and that's all you need. But the purpose of this was to focus on specific women needs for us. And we both did it at our schools. So I go to Brockton High, so I decided to start it at my school. Unfortunately, my school has not been communicative with me to help me execute the plan. So I'm planning on switching it to somewhere else to ask for donations. But my partner, Tajane, did it at her school in Fall River, and she got donations, so we're planning on donating that very soon. So and now that we collected the materials, we hope that this brings smiles on the women's faces and allow them they can feel something more like a situation that is so like bad, something that's like they're a situation they can't control, and make it more impactful for them. And we hope that this inspires other people to continue to like donate and continue to like focus on women needs and also like needs of everybody else. And yeah, thank you.
That is not mine. Alright.
Can y'all hear me good?
Yeah.
Right. So, my name is SJ, and my C5 project was thrifting. Slide. Alrighty. I volunteered at Chalice Thrift Shop at First Parish Church in Taunton. So what we did was we organized donations, pricing items, and we was maintaining the store floor. Next slide. Alright. So, there are many people in the world that lack the ability to get the things that they need. That's where thrift stores come in. Thrift stores are a great way for families and people to get what they need for affordable prices. The reason my partner and I wanted to volunteer at the thrift store was because we believe that no living being should suffer in a place that they did not ask to be in. Next slide. Will be impacted. We help put out clothes, housing items, toys, and other items for those who are in need of them. That's it. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Word.
My name is Miles, and the name of my project is Planting a Forest. The next slide. So what I did, I created a flyer, like a poster, where I could raise awareness for an organization called One Tree Planted, where all the money you donate towards them, they plant trees. And I made the flyers with a QR link for people who wanted to donate to go there to do so. And I posted the flyers around places where, like locally around the school and like a market basket near there. And I ran into some troubles like finding a good organization to donate to because there are a lot out there. Me personally, I wanted to do it all by myself, but with like the time and my age, that wasn't like worth it. So there's also a web browser called Ecosa where like everything you search on there, they'll plant a tree. That's why that's also there. So why the big problem? I'm pretty sure we all know what the ozone layer is, and our everyday uses, like the things we do, are depleting that layer, and it's not good for our environment, such as like factories, making clothes, eating, and cars. The list can go on. I'm sure we all know many things that aren't good for it, and this is bad because globally our carbon footprint is at 4 tons, which is pretty high, and to avoid a 2 Celsius degree increase, which is like 35 degrees in temperature change, we must drop our like 4 tons down at least 2 tons. This also does a lot with like the ocean. Through research, I've learned that over the past 10 years, the pH level in the ocean has dropped 0.1%, and that may not seem like a lot, but that's also like an increase in 30% acidity, which is very big. And my mission was to donate money to the organization and just spread awareness and plant trees and better clean our earth. And, that was my project.
What drove you into this?
I actually took a class in school. It's called Rivers. It's supposed to be like a different way of learning, so it's a semester class. And we learned a lot about like composting and things like that, and I got like interested in it, and I wanted to make a change that way. So.
Yeah.
my name is Jordan.
My name is Jay.
Our project is about community cleanup. We were cleaning up our community. We planned to clean up a park, but that didn't happen. So we had to think about other places to clean up. And one place that we usually walk by a lot was mad dirty, so we decided to clean it up instead.
Yep. Our main goal was the elimination of pollution on the streets and to raise awareness for the people who live on the street itself, because there were many things that we saw that were like extremely detrimental, such as broken glass, alcohol containers, sewage pipes and drainage was blocked, which could lead to flooding. And so this is a street that many children and elderly people use, so we wanted to make it safer and just improve the quality of life for the people living on the street.
What we did, we was gonna the impact we caused was we cleaned the streets. We have pictures, but we can't. We cleaned the streets. There was like no trash on any of the sides anymore, or in the middle of the street. Bad.
You can show pictures. Like these are before and after photos.
No question.
Did you guys think of doing anything to hopefully prevent it from getting worse?
No.
Well, part of this project was like kind of to try to show the people, like the tenants, like that they should care more about their community. And so like, I don't know if you read it on the other slide, like people actually noticed what we were doing and realized like, oh, like we should take more care. And so like, just doing this, basically being in our community made an impact.
Right.
Thank you.
My name is Malachi, and I'm doing my project on the active gentrification of Boston. So for my project, I decided to write a letter to Mayor Wu and the Joint Committee on Housing to bring awareness to the active gentrification of Boston. Gentrification is when wealthier people move into lower income neighborhoods, which also brings different establishments and like raises the quality of the housing. But as a consequence of it, people are often displaced and the rents are raised like after the fact. The reason I decided to do my project on gentrification is that it affects a lot of the communities in Boston that I grew up around, and it also aids in increasing homelessness in Boston. My goal was to bring attention to gentrification and to call upon those who can aid in its reversal. And one example of gentrification in Boston is the Columbia Point neighborhood, with it being destroyed, the old projects being destroyed and later turned to apartments, which didn't really focus on housing low income and more catering towards college students. Oh, next one. And well, for the impact for that, I kind of have to like wait on a response. And my hope for the committee and the mayor to take actions to help preserve the communities and like govern the rents, which is like potentially with rent control, because like the rents in those areas are naturally high. Like a one bedroom is like $3,000, which is like very high for Boston. And like maybe rent control and like realizing how gentrification affects like a lot of the different ethnic groups and families in those areas. Any questions?
my project is recycle your trash and trash your earth. What I basically did was I planned on making a slideshow to present to my principal and telling her that I think we should implement more recycling bins at our school. I feel like traditionally in other schools there's the regular trash and beside it there's a recycling bin, and at my school we don't have that. We just have maybe one in the lobby. I feel like recycling is a small change but has a big impact, and I would like there to be more recycling bins. I feel like even if it's not this year that the change happens, it should definitely be for the upcoming year. This was my plan on when I was gonna present, when I was gonna meet with my principal, depending on how the discussion went, when the change would happen, and then even in October, even after I graduate, I would still check back in to see if she really implemented the change and see how the school's doing. Why I did this? I chose recycling because it's better. Like at school, there's a lot of papers we use when you think about it. Now that we're in person, we're using a lot of paper. And for my school not to be recycling, that's a problem. It's just going straight into the trash. I feel like recycling, it's another step, but it's definitely worth it because this is where we live. That's it.
Hi, my name is Ariana, and my project is on a food drive. So basically, what I want to do is I want to have a food drive, and I want it to be happening at my job, which I work at Chick-fil-A right now, the new one that opened in Copley. And hopefully we get a lot of donations that we can give to the Red Cross. And I chose the Red Cross because they're like really, really known, and I've heard with a lot of people, you probably also heard, they said the same thing. After COVID, a lot of people haven't been really donating to places, and since the Red Cross is like really known and they know what they're doing, they could really use the help, especially now. So, why did I choose this? I chose this because for me, I really like volunteering at food pantries. I've done it multiple times with C5, and I really liked it, being able to like just see people's faces and see people like smiling, happy about it, and just being able to help is a really good feeling. And I chose to donate now because a lot of people usually donate during the holidays, but people would need help year round. It's not only like Thanksgiving or Christmas, so it would be really good to do right now. So this hasn't happened yet. Hopefully it will start next week, and it's going to be starting this Monday. We're going to be collecting food at Chick-fil-A at my job right there. That's what it looks like. We're going to have flyers up, and we're going to have a setup on the second floor, which is the dining room, where people could come in, either just people who come in like every week, workers, whoever wants to people who work around the area and just want to help out can also do that. So hopefully that will all be working out. And this is what the flyer, it's not done yet. This is just what we're looking at and trying to finalize to be done. But basically this is what the flyer would look like, and we're gonna have it up on the stores, put it around ask other places if it's okay that we put it up there so people could just come by and help out, because the more donations the better, obviously. And yeah, any questions?
Yeah.
school, and it will be for middle schoolers and elementary schoolers. And the goal is to basically have kids basically get out the house, because after COVID, a lot of kids are just stuck in the house. Some kids are still in the house with remote classes, and their parents really won't let them get out. So the main goal is to just have kids like have fun, express themselves still, because a lot of them are not really socially active, and they tend to, and that kind of affects them a lot, because kids usually should be socially active. Yeah. Yeah. And then my plan is to have them do this at least twice a year or once a year. I'm still gonna try to talk to administration about it and see what their plan would be for hosting it either once a year or twice a year.